Hey everyone, when they're here, and in today's vid, it's kind of to bring to light why Arcstrider is so dominant right now and why it won't be changing anytime soon unless changes are made to the other subclasses. So some quick background is this video is not meant to create a hunter only meta or argue for one as such, but more or less to bring to light why Arcstrider is being used, what are the reasons for that, and to explain that it won't be changing again unless we see changes to the other subclasses. I can't personally speak for Warlock or Titan, but I'm about 100% sure the same arguments can be made for specific subclasses to them as well to help diversify them as a whole, but there's way other creators out there that have the time on those classes. I personally don't. I have 1,500 hours in total between D1 and D2 on Hunters specifically, 400 alone in D2, so that's why I'm talking specifically on Hunters. So to jump right into it, Strider has always had a strong neutral game. This isn't a new thing. It's never been touched, changed, buffed, nerfed, etc. It's always been there. But the main issue is it was overshadowed by Night Stalker and Golden Gun early on in D2 vanilla. One example is Night Stalkers had no aim assist while invis. So most of the games you'd run into is 2 or 3 Night Stalkers or even 4, and you have a direct counter to your super. So it was really hard for anyone really to run Arcstrider. The other thing you saw early on in vanilla was people running the 3-shot Goldie because it had a base duration of 12 seconds with the possibility to keep it at 15 seconds plus per kill until you ran out of your 3 shots. And it only required 1 or 2 precision shots to make this happen. These two benefits overshadowed the use of Strider because why would you bother for this super when you have both your counters active and reliable currently in the game? So the second major point is that exotic armor at this point only provides a major synergy use to what Arcstriders already have. Examples being the Wormhusk Crown, Frosties, Shinobu's Vow, Raiden Flux, Lucky Raspberry, and 2 bonuses I added in are Stompies and Gemini Jesters. So out of the total 19 Hunter exotics armor currently in the game, 13 of them have direct synergy to one of the 3 subclasses. You can argue Jester can fit with Night Stalker due to the invis and then disorient, but I threw it on with Arcstrider instead just due to the melee. You can double stack disorient, which I'll explain here now. So Golden Gun, out of those 13 that provide synergy, has 3. Ophidius Spaith, giving you a double melee charge or double throwing knives essentially. You have Celestial, which is very useful in PvE but not in PvP, and then Ahamkara's Spine, which just needs help because trip mines just don't do enough in the game in its current state, at least in PvP. Night Stalkers have Foe Tracer, which is very good with the Keen Scout. You have Orpheus Rigs, which only provide use in PvE at this current point because you can't tether enough people in PvP to get your super to regen. And then Graviton Forfeit, which does pretty much nothing since it just increases your invis time. It's not really significant anymore since aim assist is on Night Stalkers. You kind of lose out anyway. That would be the only boost it had. So Arcstriders have 7 of the 13 being the ones I mentioned above. Wormhusk Crown giving you regen on dodge, which would stack with your bottom and top tree. Frosties, which stacks synergy with the bottom tree as a whole. Shinobu's Vow giving you 2 skips, essentially 2 skip grenades. Raiden Flux, which on 1 to 2 kills with your super can give you a 20-second Arcstrider duration. Lucky Raspberry, which provides RNG to your Arc Bolt on getting it back, along with extending the radius it hits. And then Stompies giving you the mobility buff, and Gestures giving you disorient on dodge. So that's 7 out of 13 benefiting Arcstrider. That's 54% of the current exotics that benefit a specific subclass benefiting one. So it doesn't matter what you take away, another one will just fill its position. Whereas with Golden Gun, you don't really have anything dominant to use, and Night Stalker, you don't really have anything dominant like that to use either. So this kind of brings to light why they need more that help them specifically. So to touch on that before I go into details of the Frosties, one way you can fix this is that Golden Gun and Tether need more exotic armor pieces that benefits them as a subclass. Golden Gun could have a Deadeye helmet to assist with the 3-shot tree. Tether could have gauntlets or a chest piece that increases Quiver's duration time as you get kills with it. Both of these obviously small examples, but examples of why someone could log in and have to choose what do I want to play today and everything being fun. The next major point that could help fix and provide more diversity with hunters is Golden Gun's 3-shot needs to go back to its 12-second base time. Golden Gun's 6-shot can stay at 8 seconds though. There is no reason that the 3-shot and the 6-shot need to have the same base time of 8 seconds. If people want to prioritize kills, for example, in a larger playlist such as Iron Banner, they can use the 6-shot. If people are operating within a more team-based setting and need guaranteed kills, it doesn't make sense that the class that prioritizes time and precision does not have the time and precision allowed to them to follow up with kills. It's also more natural to see the 3-shot used more often than the 6-shot, so that shouldn't be why one should be brought down. And then the final major point is that Quiver should kill any base red health enemy, then proc the build-up damage following kills to chain. Any enemy within a roaming super or an overshield should take 2 tethers to finish off, or with the ramp damage Quiver provides, the same reason it takes 2 golden gun shots to kill an enemy super if you're using the 6-shot tree. Also, a tether shouldn't straight up do the same rough 160 to 170 damage it does right now on impact. Both tethers should have an impact kill, just Quiver has the added incentive of ramping up damage, then the exotic I proposed earlier could provide it with some bonus benefits. Another note is Quiver is the offensive part of the Night Stalker tree at this time, the same way Sentinel is more offensive than Ward of Dawn, but the base double grenade potential in smoke isn't enough to make the class viable. It needs the damage Quiver provided in D1, which could provide some really sick plays in PvP. So to kind of go backwards a little bit before we close out this video, I'm just going to talk on cooldowns with Arcstrider's bottom tree and the benefits that Frosty provides to kind of really hammer down on why Arcstriders will stay dominant. So the base cooldown of the bottom tree grenade for Arcstrider again is 1 minute and 19 seconds. Its melee is 1 minute and 35 seconds, and then its dodge is 24 seconds. So bottom tree Arcstrider has a perk where when critically wounded, it increases your ability cooldowns. So when you're critically wounded, and I was only running 3 recovery for this test, your grenade will come back in 48 seconds. Your melee will come back in 50 seconds, and then the bottom tree Arcstrider also has a perk where as you sprint, your dodge cooldown time is reduced. So if you're sprinting right after you burn a dodge and you're just sprinting endlessly, your dodge will be back in 16 seconds. Now if you add Frosties to the mix, your base cooldown of your grenade goes to 40 seconds, your melee goes to 1 minute and 7 seconds, and then your dodge stacking with the bottom tree sprint synergy perk goes to 8 seconds. Now if you're critically wounded allowing the regen with 3 recovery, your grenade is a 20-second cooldown and your melee goes to a 33-second cooldown, which is still pretty significantly different by just running Frosties. You're already approaching D1 cooldown times. Now if you really want to blow the doors off, you add mods. So with 3 mods, and then except for the class ability, you're only allowed 2 on Arcstrider. So with just mods, your grenade cooldown is 1 minute and 9 seconds with 1 grenade mod. With 2 mods, it's 55 seconds. And with 3 mods, it's 41 seconds. Now, if you add Frosties to the mix, 1 mod, your grenade cooldown is already at 31 seconds. 2 mods, 27 seconds. 3 mods, you have a 23-second grenade cooldown. Your melee with 1 mod is 1 minute and 20. 2 mods, 1 minute and 4. 3 mods is 48 seconds. Add Frosties, 1 mod is 34 seconds, 2 mods is 30 seconds, and 1 mod your melee is back in 3 mods, your melee is back in 26 seconds. That's pretty insane if you ask me, compared to the field of subclasses. And then your class ability with 1 mod is 14 seconds, 2 mod is only 12 seconds, and then if you stack that with Frosties, you have 1 mod being an 8-second dodge cooldown, 2 mods being a 6-second dodge cooldown. So that's roughly every 6 seconds you have a chance to dodge, melee someone, and if you one-hit kill them, you get your melee back. Or even on dodge, you get your melee back when you if you have the melee dodge on. That's pretty insane in terms of synergy and team use. And again, this just provides an example of why Wormhusk isn't why Arcstrider is dominant. It's got plenty of exotics that can just fill that role Wormhusk currently does. So in conclusion, the biggest thing, like I told most of my friends for a while and people I know, is that if this helmet is taken out or nerfed, you'll still continue to see Striders run rampant and competitive unless the other subclasses for Hunter or any other class are changed up to provide incentive and choice to use. We do know now we're getting 9 new subclasses in total with Forsaken, and I really hope Bungie doesn't ignore the current subclasses used in the game, which I don't think they will. I hope there's some plan down the line of adjusting even in September so that you really have a meaningful choice when you log on, and it would make the game more fun to play. If every time you logged on you had, all right, do I want to use a 3-shot Goldie? Do I want to use the new Kunai Goldie? Do I want to use the new Night Stalker Blade Dancer? You know, all these choices provide meaningful experience for every player when they log in, and I think that's really important. This along line with the need to limit subclasses, at least in competitive play. If someone wants to run 6 of one subclass in Iron Banner or Quick Play, fine, because they're more party-like modes. But for competitive to really be fun to grind, it needs this limit on it. It would help provide more team role play in D2 and create a more interesting experience down the line. And it would be a lot more fun, in my opinion, to see multiple subclasses used across multiple games of competitive versus seeing the same 4 Arcstriders or 3 Arcstriders running rampant for a whole season. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed watching everything. I had some clips from Hunter gameplay in the background. I hope you enjoyed as well. Again, I appreciate you watching. For those that care, I do stream on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Wendler, and I also tweet almost every day over at twitter.com/Wendler34. If you want to have a conversation about Hunters or something, feel free to tweet me and I'll answer any questions you have. Other news, again, for the 3rd time, thank you for watching and hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace.